Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion. Never, ever again loses a run in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Maybe he says the name wrong a couple of times. Sit yourself down. CC32, 2H99, Guppy's head, good speed, decent damage. I'd say above decent. I'm gonna give this a decent plus. Luck doesn't matter that much. Rate of fire is poor, but could be worse for sure. This is a great start. Not least of which we have to attribute to the fact that, you know, we got a little Guppy transformation action potentially going on here. We had Mom's Knife last run. If we get Guppy this run, we'll be contributing to a certain state of riotous uproar and upheaval. You know, it's one of those words, I don't understand uproar and upheaval, because there's no such thing as a down roar or a downheaval. Is that when people are ornery, and then all of a sudden they stop being ornery in light of recent evidence? I don't know. This bit goes nowhere, but, you know, it's food for thought. Potentially. Junk food for thought. Now, that's the name of a great autobiography, if I've ever heard one. Has it already been used? I might have to talk to the U.S. Patent Office real quick. Junk food for thought. There's already a blog called Junk Food for Thought. There's already a book called Junk Food for Thought. There's about 100 articles called, it's originally published by Sean McGee, Junk Food for Thought. Rating 5 out of 5. The OCD Zone. This book is presented in horizontal landscape format. I don't know what, sure, okay. You know, I'm not, you gotta talk to my manager if you want to get free advertising like that. For now, you'll be hearing from my lawyer for the price of On the House, because I just invented it, even though it's already existed for many years, apparently. We're gonna go check out our item room. I feel very, very confident about this run right now. We got some amazing stuff working for us here. Big Chub is actually fine, especially the early. It's one of those items. It's if you get it on the chest, you're like, this is irrelevant. If you get it as your starting item as Eden, you go, this is a good time. Let's go. Why is that? Well, it kind of does like a static. Whew, I thought we could make it a static amount of damage. That is not necessarily particularly impressive, but against weaker enemies, it can give you that little buffer zone you might need to succeed. My favorite EA racing game franchise, the need to succeed. Host hand's fine. Synergizes with a bunch of related items. Just try not to throw yourself into too much of a tizzy right off the bat here. This is our second secret room in all likelihood. Ooh, okay. Disregard. We shouldn't be getting crapped on by Monstro, let's just be honest. And you can see the value of Chub right here is doing amazing work for us. If we know where Monstro's gonna be, just send Chub in that general direction. No need to waste a bomb. Pentagram's amazing. HP, the HP upgrade helps out a lot. Just the red hearts leave a little bit to be desired right now, but this run's got every capability of popping off, I think. And our rate of fire is not nearly bad enough to feel bad about. Like, 13, it's close enough to 10 that I think if I didn't have the stat screen, I wouldn't even notice the difference, if I'm being honest. When you start to have like 15, 18, stuff like that, you go, okay, this is too much. Sad bombs, dude, I'm for it. And we'll very quickly, now that we have more bombs, go peep this. And we will hope against hope that this is our secret room right here. And it is. So we'll... Ooh, we do want the Eternal Heart. It's not like... We're pretty unlikely to get a blood bank, so let's do that. And then we'll blow our way in here and here. Phrasing, perhaps. Saves us a key on both ends. Black Candle. This is outrageously, like, above the norm of what you would expect to get in terms of, like, the bounty right now. Now, I know there is that double bomb Isaac's room down there. Rest assured, I want to peep it. But I kind of, I want to wait till we get one more bomb so we can adequately check and see if it's a crawl space black market. And moreover, if we're able to lose all of our HP on this upcoming deal with the devil, we can get 3 spirit hearts for resting in there. It might not be worth doing if the items are garbage, but if the items are decent, it could tip us over the edge. It's IAA compliant. Wonderful. Just a great situation right here. So don't use a bomb, as tempting as it is. Oh, I dodged because I had no self-confidence, and then I messed up the big chub, like, quintuple kill, but life obviously goes on here. Toothpicks is amazing, and we don't get any items, unfortunately. Well, then, disregard. We get Guppy's Collar. Guppy's Collar puts us 1 away from the full Guppy transformation. And this is not a 10. I'm like, you know, GameSpot. I'm very protective of those 10s, okay? I am going to open our sacrificial chest, by the way, because I really want to get this 3rd bomb if possible. Not worth it. But who dares wins. Except for the times that you lose. You like the movie Blumhouse's Truth or Dare coming out. I'm very protective of these 10s. I don't give them out willy-nilly. This is like, for where we're at in the game, for Caves 1, essentially, this is like a 9. Maybe I'll give it a 9.1. I'll put it up there in like the Zelda God of War tier. Unfortunately, no other bombs. Maybe it was a black market, in which case we'll be real sad. Maybe it was a crawl space, in which case you'll be very sad, because a crawl space is like a Christmas present from your aunt, you know? 15 out of 16 years, she gives you a gift certificate to a bookstore for like less than the price of an average book. But on that 16th year, she's like, hey, here's a pinball table that, you know, your uncle used to love. Until tragedy befell him. So maybe that was the pinball table. Maybe it was 3/4 of John Green's new novel. It's not for me to decide. Literally, like, we don't have the bomb. Normally on the Caves one, I like to take a little stock of the run and talk about where we're going in the future. Well, we really only need 1 more item to succeed, more or less forever. If we get a Guppy, like, our stats are already so good, unless something unfathomable happens, or we get a full run reroll, which is also plausible, we're probably, like, unkillable if we get a Guppy item. And Serpent's Kiss helps out a lot. We don't need it, but we're happy to have it. If we can get our luck stat up a little bit higher, Serpent's Kiss is going to keep us in the money for sure. But like 5 damage, 8 rate of fire this early on, extremely good. Restock gives us some Zane potential. You know, is Restock a Zane item or a good item? It's one of those rare items that straddles the line. It's Discord and Rhyme. I'm on the hunt, I'm after... You guys like Duran? Probably like 50-50, right? Duran's reason... We need HP first. They're reasonably well respected still in the 2010s, aren't they? I'm not saying they're necessarily in that Hall & Oates camp where people they're more popular than they've ever been before, but... Or Toto. I think they're kind of in the same vein as like a Men at Work. They're liked, aren't they? Maybe. If you've been watching these videos for a long time, you know my musical habits. I tend to listen to one album for like 4 months, and then I'm sick of it and never want to hear it again. I listened to their Duran's album Rio last year, but only for like 2 months. I got over it after 2 months, and that's like a damning sign. That's like an indication that an album's only like an 8 instead of being a solid 10. Like, I listened to Pimp a Butterfly for about 11 months straight. So I would say that Rio, the 1986 album by Duran, approximately 1/5 as good as Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Maybe I could use that as my scale. I don't know if it's my favorite album ever. It's probably not. Probably something a little bit more pitchforky, like a Pet Sounds. Or something equally defensible, but also slightly pretentious. I'll tell you what here. You know, HP's looking good. This is an agile floor. Let's go grab this. Hope for some luck upgrades. The money is fine by itself. Get to 21 cents. Blow this up. Inside of here, another 3 cents. And we did buy restock, but there's nothing to restock right now. Like, we're happy with where we're at. The next shop, though, that's where dreams come true. Probably a second secret room. Ooh. I like it. Let's go for it. We actually do have an angel chance because we have a deal with the devil item, but it came from a red chest. So because we didn't pay HP for it, we don't have to worry about... sorry to do this. Because we didn't pay HP for it, we don't have to worry about our precedent. And I'd always love to have... Like, even though we're fishing for Guppy, I would love to have that deal with the angel chance instead because we can get Guppy through a variety of means. The only way we're getting cool items like Godhead is through the deal with the angel. Even though most of the time we end up getting freaking holy water. Other angel items I don't even fully understand the efficacy of. So be it. Caves 2, 80% chance. This is a weird run just because of the percentages. You don't normally get an 80% chance of a deal, but that's Pentagram and maybe the angel statue having some weirdness associated with it. Pentagram gives you a bonus to begin with. Dude, I love Serpent's Kiss. What a great item. Look at that. Get hit once on a room you shouldn't get hit on and still leave it with a smile on your face. That's how you know you're doing all right. Now, Isaac morale is at a recent high. You know, if you're looking at this on the stock market, you know, we've had some bumpy ups and downs on the morale stock market in Isaac, but we're at like a 2-week high right now. Now, the thing is, it's easy to be at a high from a morale standpoint when the run's going strong. We're gonna have to wait to see if we encounter some strife what happens. But for now, you know, it's a bull market. Get while the getting's good. The dream scenario here, I will say, you know, whenever I say I will say, we're about to talk about a negative. It's like an NL primer right there. I wouldn't kick a speed upgrade out of bed for eating crackers right now. 1.03. I mean, when you're young, you're starting to play Isaac, you're like at 1.03 speed, you're just happy to be in the conversation. You get a little bit more experience under your belt, you realize it's exploitative to be stuck at 1.03 speed, while the fat cats in DC use your speed upgrades to pay for their lunch. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm not American, so I don't really have a horse in the race, I suppose. Onk. Depression. Neither of these essential. Quarter, I think with our money being pretty high, we don't need it, even though with restock it could be fun. Clicker is just get out of my face. Sister Maggie, not particularly strong. We finished on what I would consider to be the strongest item. Ooh, let's do it. Certainly not a 10 out of 10 by itself. But if you get some good stuff going with the finger, it's like a kind of a more impotent version of a piercing shot. Ugh. I'm not asking you for the world here. I just want you to give me a bomb so I can access the other golden chest, and if then it gives me trash, then so be it. But this is a big floor for us. Even if we don't get anything particularly strong from this room, which I would describe that as being apt so far. Never mind. Everything's great. Totally worth it. It's still a big floor. In theory, at least. We really want to see what happens on our boss fight. Boss fight deal with the devil room. Probably should not have played chicken there. Just because it worked doesn't mean it was the right idea. It's taken me a long time to learn that. Sometimes the wrong idea pays out. I mean, have you ever looked at MapQuest? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Dude, does anybody work in, like, the map industry? You guys got disrupted if you worked at freaking Rand McNally, right? I remember driving with my grandparents to Nova Scotia from Ontario. You look at it on a map, you're like, it's not that far, but it's like a 4 or 5 day drive if you're doing 8 hours a day or so. I mean, I wasn't driving, I was like 10, but you get the picture. Oh, dude, this is a huge floor. And they had these maps, they had like maps that they'd accrued over the years. So they got one map that's like, hey, Eastern Ontario. And then you get on the highway and you pretty much just follow it east. And then it's like, oh, we have to drive through Quebec, so get ready. Like, here's where the tunnel is. And, oh, we're Guppy. That's amazing. Here's where the tunnel is in Montreal, and then you gotta take this exit. We did get freaking Godhead. This is incredible. What a run. And look at the damage we did with that sad bomb. Did you see that? This is amazing. And I was always thinking, well, like, not always, because that was just the way that life was back then. But once, you know, MapQuest came out, I remember, you know, I'd go on a date in high school. Don't think that I was that popular. You notice I said date singular. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna drive. We gotta go to the movie theater. What I would do is print out, like I'd go on Google Maps or MapQuest, and then I'd print out the directions for where I was supposed to go, and then I'd keep them in my car for reference, but I'd also commit them to memory. I'd be like, okay, you know, well, you're gonna, when you're coming home, you're just gonna get on Queen Street, and you're gonna follow that all the way till, you know, Division, and then from Division, you're gonna get on the 401, and you're gonna head back to the west a little bit. That's right, I wasn't going to the Uptown Cineplex, I was going to the screening room downtown. I was into that indie stuff. Everything is illuminated. Elijah Wood, you wouldn't have heard of it. It only made $345 million at the box office. Let's go. We don't even need to talk about the run anymore. But, you know, you'd have these maps in the 90s, and before that, I'm assuming, of course, as well. We've already been there. You'd be driving with somebody. The passenger would be pulling out these maps, or you'd be going off. No, thank you, sir. You'd be going off to the side of the road, pulling over, and then looking at the maps and committing these to memory. You know, oh, exit 285. I'm going to take that to Sherbrooke Laval. And, you know, what happens if they construct a new road? Or what happens, you know, 2 years later, all of a sudden the road's one way? It's disrupted your whole plan. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I genuinely think GPS is like the best invention to come out of the technological revolution. I'm not going to talk about how many lives it saved from people not glancing at a map when they should be looking at the road, because I don't have stats to back that up, but just the convenience that it's given us. The fact that I can get in my car and just say, hey, well, I don't have to say, hey, I have to speak with great enunciation. Navigation. Find POI. Bao Bei Chinese Restaurant. 1,400 matching results. No, not Lululemon. No, not Starbucks. I said Bao Bei. What's the problem? Anyway, it's still a technological marvel to me. This isn't even like a back in my day sort of thing, because like I was not driving before GPS came to the forefront. I was right on the, you know, I basically came up with it, so I can navigate without using GPS, and in many, well, at least in an area I've been to or have familiarity with, and I try to, because I worry sometimes, you know, about the inevitable solar flare that's gonna strike the Earth and wipe out all of our electronics irreparably for like a decade or something like that, but I try to remember, like, sometimes if I'm going someplace in Vancouver, I've never been to it before, but I roughly know, you know, like the cross streets and the intersections and the neighborhood that it's in. I'll wing it. I'll do it without GPS just to try to keep those skills high. Now, I know what you're saying, and you're probably right. If a solar flare hits North America or planet Earth, I don't know how large a solar flare is or can be, probably car just won't work in the first place. But you know, I like to keep those skills fresh. It's not because I'm an anti-Luddite. I love technology. I think we're good to go. I love technology, and I think sometimes people, they think that you're being anti-technology when you like to rely on your own cognitive function. But no, I think it's, with the brain, I think there's an element of if you don't use it, you lose it. Doesn't apply to everything in life, as you'll know if you've seen the 40-year-old virgin. But for me, no deal with the devil. For me personally, I like to keep that part of the brain fresh. Dude, I will do this for the mind. Absolutely. Shielded Tear is also pretty good, but give me the mind. Such a good item. Pop the Magician. Although I guess we already have Homing Tears, all things considered. This is an incredible run. We haven't had a run like this in a little while. You know, one that's just essentially dominant front to back. Even the Mom's Knife run we had recently. It was really, really good, and we got Mom's Knife on our first deal with the devil, but it never hit these highs of essentially, like, I can't fathom us dying. Every stat is good. So this is your platonic ideal for runs. Now, what I would love to see is bombs. You know, give me more bombs. Bomb bag would be an acceptable item here, because, you know, with the sad bombs that we got going on, combined with Godhead Guppy, like, the more bombs, the merrier, to an enormous degree. I would be using these bombs in combat. I mean, look, we got great defense even, thanks to Serpent's Kiss. It's just it's a 10 out of 10. We're probably legitimately at a 10 now, especially if we can get, you know, a bunch of synergies on the chest, thanks to having, you know, a luck stat that's above 0. Will we fight Hush? I don't know. It'll depend on our finances, I think. Like right now with 19 cents, I don't really want to subject myself to a Hush fight, even though we'd win easily in all likelihood. And as much as it might sound like complaining, we actually could use a damage increase. Like, we have a decent rate of fire, decent damage, but it's our flies and the Godhead bonus that's carrying us. To get that raw stat up there would be a little nice, but it's certainly non-essential. Don't take this as complaining. It's rather just contemplative musings about the room for improvement on this run. You know, I was just gonna say, it's gonna be an enemy that pops out of the loam. Pops out of the peat moss. Headless babies. It exists. That's pretty much the best thing you could say about it. The mind, so good though, especially with Black Candle. So we're immune to curses that annoy us now. Or we're immune to all curses, including those that annoy us. More bombs, please. Well, I'm happy with the fly army. I really don't want to use bombs to get into secret rooms. I have a hard time believing, unless we get pyro, that a secret room is going to be worth the loss in wow factor that we're going to get. You know, these bombs are awesome. And I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson's recent tweet. He said, back in my day, awesome was reserved for an exploding star, not for stupid stuff like food or television shows. I think I'm becoming a bad Twitter account. And by that, I mean, I think I've ascended. I'm becoming like a star child of Twitter. Because all I want to do is, I mean, bang, 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 and cash register noise and take your money. But for the most part, like, in 2013 to 2017, what was my principal use of Twitter? Communicating with my audience. Hey, this is what we're going to play today. Hey, thanks so much for your feedback on this video. Etc., etc. I'm not going to go there. I don't want to go there because I need these keys for the chest or for the Hush fight even. What do I use it for now? I just want to tweet accounts that I think are bad with snarky responses. Like, I told the story on the NLSS, but I follow this account called Archelect, which is like architect, but it has chill in the name. Do you get it? And for a long time, they tweeted visually interesting images. Now the account might as well, as far as I'm concerned, just be called Pictures of Japan. 90% of what they tweet is pictures of like Japanese subway stations. And like, it's cool. I've been there. But like, when you see 100 of them, you kind of get it, you know? You've seen them all, to some extent. So now I get snarky, and it's a bad habit, but I'll tweet them like, really makes you think. There's a picture of like, you know, a model, and she's got a lock around her mouth, and then in her hand she holds the key, but she's not using it. Wow, it really makes you think, you know? And same thing, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm gonna fight here. Again, I want to point out, this makes me a jerk, and I'm pretty sure it's a bad habit. Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeted the other day, hey, I think you'll find out, statistically speaking, if you look at the numbers, Friday the 13th is just as common as Thursday the 12th. And I tweeted him and I said, mind blown. But I spelled blown wrong. And you know why I spelled blown wrong is because I think that tweet is dumb as heck. I know it's dismissive, okay? I understand that, but come on, dude. Stop sniffing your own farts. You're the world's most prominent astrophysicist or whatever the heck you're doing. Oh, to be honest, it's above my intellectual weight class without a doubt. But, why are you tweeting this garbage? You can tweet whatever you want. I'm just saying, I might hit you with a little bit of snark. And that's okay, you can take it. I'm just letting you know that, you know, I feel like you could use your platform for more important stuff. That and, like, now, anytime, like, a fast food corporation tweets about mental health, you know, like, when you want to go to McDonald's, but your depression says no, and then it's like a meme picture. Just, you know, tweet them the gif of Steve Buscemi saying, "How do you do, fellow teens?" Gets me every time, dude. Basically, if you take yourself seriously on Twitter, you open yourself up to my derision. I'll be there. Whenever a brand tries to co-opt the memes of the youths to sell hamburgers, I'll be there. Whenever an astrophysicist tweets some inane garbage about, well, actually, decimate means to reduce the size of something by 10 times, I'll be there, okay? You can rely on me, the people's champion of not taking yourself seriously, pulling your head out of your own butt. The Lord of the Poop Posts. I can't say S posts because of the Google DeepMind language filter. FCC won't let me be. And I'm a hypocrite. I mean, that's abundantly clear, I hope, but I'm the hypocrite who knows he's a hypocrite, and I think that puts me like a half step above the other hypocrites. I'm not saying a full step, no sir, but maybe a half step above. At least in terms of my own self-awareness. I gotta be honest. Hush fight, not quite as quick as I thought it would be. Certainly is not going badly. I just thought maybe we'd be a little bit more potent here. Like the lead actress in Run Lola Run. That hurts. Okay, get the heck out of town. You don't need to open anything else. Go up to the cathedral. You're good to go. You're going to be on time for Roundtable Podcast. I didn't know that that was a thing that could happen to me. Start an Isaac run like an hour in advance of an obligation and finish it in time for the obligation. Dude, I got to stop playing these roguelites that are an hour long every day. Eventually, I'm going to do 24 videos a day, and that's going to be my whole life. They'll be 50 minutes long each, and I'll have 2 hours to sleep, shower, and eat. I'm not complaining about my lot in life. You know, it's a privilege to be saddled with the responsibility of being the guy who plays the daily in a roguelite every single day. But I'm just saying, between Dead Cells, Slay the Spire, Isaac's a little different. Runs tend to be shorter. Really, it's just Slay the Spire and Dead Cells. Like, those runs are long. But the Slay the Spire dailies are so good. I look forward to them every day. Dead Cells, not bad. But it takes a little... Like, the first few floors of Dead Cells, I'm like, easiest game ever made, no problem. Then the last few floors of Dead Cells, at least as far as I've seen them so far, I'm like, no one on Earth can beat this. You need to be like an actual god. You need to be Alucard to beat this. This is a very, very pleasant run. I have had an extremely excellent time playing it. And I hope you've had a good time watching it. We did some classic NL bits. Kids these days don't understand, you know, the classic bit, I'm better than everybody else in social media, a Northernlion original. You get the idea. Shall we fight Mega Satan? I think we have a certain obligation. I'll tell you what, I'll meet you guys in the middle here. I'm gonna fight Mega Satan, but we have a decent amount of luck. I want to get some more chests, so I'm gonna move to our boss fight. We're not gonna fight Blue Baby, but we'll at least make it all the way there, and then we'll take it from there. Judgment? Sorry about that. Metal plates? I always forget, it deflects some shots, something like that. It's one of those items, I think I've looked that item up like at least 5 different times in an Isaac video. And it just, for whatever reason, like, does not commit itself to memory. Yo, you gotta at least give me, like, a chest. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but otherwise this is like a... It's an action of war. You've declared war on me. And not a war of the thumb variety. I'm gonna do this other route. I'm gonna loop back around. Monkey Paw is actually, like, okay. It's gonna cost us 3 flies, which is never less relevant than when on a long boss fight like Mega Satan. Come on, give me some synergies, dude. I'm doing my due diligence for my behalf and the audience's. I want some synergies, okay? Well, I'll take a Demon Heart. Come on, okay. Tell you what, last little step of due diligence, I'm gonna do these rooms up here real quick. The pencil was a good get, but it's kind of a boring get because it's just a nice little DPS bonus. I'd like to pick it up a step. Ugh, Fate's Reward. Alright, time to fight Mega Satan. Honestly, I think we'd rather have Mom's Bra. And I think the way that you play this run is very easy. You hit this man in the face. Remember the last time we fought Mega Satan? It took us like 20 years to get the kill. That was horrendous. Much better situation here. A little disappointed with myself for taking that damage, but life goes on. We do have explosion immunity, so you don't have to be too perturbed by some of the enemies that show up here. Oh. It's a thing of beauty. So here's what you do. Kill these. They're destroyed. Get to your next phase, which should take about a millisecond. And then when he enters phase 2, you're just gonna hit the space bar, and you're gonna relish the last couple of seconds you have on a run this beautiful, you know? You don't get to experience these too often. He did not freeze, but he died nonetheless, so... You do... Oh, I swear to you, this is a very convenient moment for like a cover-up, but I was gonna go to Delirium. I just wanted to pick up the Demon Heart, but I bumped into the chest by accident. Whoopsie! Looks like I don't have to do Delirium. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Episode a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.